So listener is an interface class, and this class comes with interfaces, means it has lots of by default methods without a body definition, and that's called the interface, right? So it comes with a lot of methods like on start method, on success method, on test failure, on test success or skip. It comes with a lot of methods without a body definition. You will see most of the method doesn't have any body. Since I have, this is the code I already did, that's why this code, but usually it comes without a body definition, something like that. Just method name, void, and there is a parameters inside. It's called there is a parameter. This means there is a variable, and then return type. So return type, it's test result. I will explain to you a little bit later why is test result here. Before is that, whatever the method name for listener, you will give the method name. It's up to you. But since interface class always depends, you need to implement on another class. It always dependable. Like WebDriver have to be implement through like a Chrome driver, right? Through Internet Explorer driver, through Firefox driver, because those interface methods all are without a body definition. So it depends on another class where it has the explanation of the methods or the code. So here it's similar. I create a method, it's called listener demo, and it needs to so all the methods, listener methods, needs to implement on some specific class. Like WebDriver have implemented classes, specific classes, which is a Chrome driver, Firefox driver, Opera driver. Those are the specific. Without those class, WebDriver cannot execute. So similarly, your listener class needs to implement some of the specific class. And what of those class? One of the class is called test listener. So this is the guy. This class has the explanation of all of your method. It comes with your interface. Excuse me. And after, so as soon as you implement your interface class, in test listener, so this is the important, your interface class. So this class, you have to make sure you write exactly this way. So that time, your code will understand that's okay. Whatever the class you created over here, this is going to treat as an interface class. Listener class. Okay, listener interface class. So it will be automatically come up all the method without a body definition. So by the name of all of the method, you can easily understand, okay, what all this method does. It depends. Every method has some specific job. First of all the methods common job to listen your all of the test case. That's why this class is called listener. The name is called listener. By the name of the, you understand that's name. When it's called listener, it means somebody, his main job is to listen. Listen what? Listen all of your test cases. Okay. So all the methods over here, it comes by default in listener class. It's a main job. It's a core job to listen your test cases. Now, what type of test cases? You have a lot of type of test cases. It can be, when you start your execution, that time all of your test cases is in execution mode, like on test start mode. So that could be all of them. It will count all of the test cases when it start. Some of the test cases will fail, some of them will be pass. So here is another divide between your test cases. So if you want to do something when your test cases, those test cases pass, you can write the code inside the on test success method inside the body. Like you wanna notify you some of the messes. Okay, all this test cases is passed. So because this method only listening, those test cases got passed. So you can do anything based on those test cases which is got passed. So here you can, whatever you want, you can put the code up there. Example, I want on my console, to name of all of the test cases got passed, and after all of the test cases, I want to send just a simple print statement. Like I said, test execute successfully and got passed. Okay, so every methods got passed. After the method name, it will be print this message. Similarly, on test failure, this method only job to listen those method got failed after the execution. So after the execution, if you want to do anything regarding those failed method, which is very important, because as a tester you have to know which method is getting failed, right? So that you can see, find out, is that a actual test case problem, or is that the locator issues, like it didn't find the element, or what is the reason. So definitely that's what our main breaking point, that find out that those failed test cases. So whatever you want, you can write the code inside this method. Okay, and here example, if I want similarly every test case methods got failed, I can put just simple printing message. Or if I want, I can get the print screenshot of those method, because those method is nothing, on your application it will go some field, do something. So if you get the screenshot, it will be help you to file a bug with this screenshot. Attach those screenshot on your bug, right? When you submit the bug, okay, here is it up there, this method got failed, and and here is the attached screenshot. It will make more visible about your bug, right? So getting a screenshot is very important, and that's possible by this using on test failure method. Similarly, there is other, if any method got skipped, this method will only listen those method got skipped. And if you want to do anything, you can write the code up there, and so on other methods. So in this exercise, we are going to see most likely using on test failure method, inside the on test failure method, how you can get the screenshot using this listener class. Okay, that would be our exercise. And every method you will see there is a one common variable. So this is parameter, so variable and variable return type. So your variable is result, and return type is like it's simply the similar, like if you consider like you have a something variable x and return type is integer, similar type of is variable result and return type is itest result. So itest result, the reason why, whatever the variable over here result, that's not important. Important is that return type. Return type is itest result. It means this variable, this itest result, what it does, it has all the result. So this method, this specific method, say example on test start method or on test success method, it only listen those method got pass. How this method will segregate, will differentiate the method which one only got pass? How this method will do? It will get the result, specifically it will get the result from itest results, from this is the type. Okay, this is the type, and this is the specialist code job for this itest listener. This itest listener have the power, and it can some of the it's can have the store all the methods result, all the test case result, and itest result have that kind of capability, or so that it can have the knowledge about all of the methods result, on test fail or on test failure or on test success. Excuse me. So, and the result, if you have a variable, so it means this variable type is itest result. It means this result variable have the knowledge about all the test, all the test result. It could be pass, it could be fail, whatever, all of them. So if you use this variable, this variable with this parameter with the on test success, it means this variable can have the knowledge only those tests gets passed. It's the same when you use this same variable with the on test failure method, it will have the knowledge about all those test cases got failed. So we can easily use this result variable to get the name of those method got failed, because its type is itest result, and itest result is nothing, it has all the result knowledge about all the result of the test cases. So wherever you are going to use with whatever the method name, it will can differentiate those methods from the others. Is that make sense? Clear, guys? Everyone?
Yes, somehow.
Somehow. Okay, I'm going to create. Okay, don't worry, I will create the class, and then we'll see how it works. Okay. The listener demo. So let's create another class. So let's give a name, say listener test. Okay, let's give a name, listener test, finish it. Okay, so this class is going to be my listener class. Okay, so that's the beginning, and then you since you are saying that this class will treat as a listener class, and listener class always need to implement on iTestListener, that class. This is the implementing class, so you will type that keyword implements what implements is, you can see implements on iTestListener. You have to make sure you write the name of this class exactly as it is, like it's your I should be uppercase, your test T should be uppercase, L should be uppercase. If you do mistake, because this is a reserved class, the name is like this, implemented class, like similar like in our base class. If you write your web driver different way, upper lowercase mix is not going to work. Your Chrome driver you mix is not going to work. You have to write exactly as it is, because it's already predefined classes. So similarly, iTestListener is a predefined classes. So after you create,
right? It's the interface, right?
Yes, it is interface. Okay, so hover mouse, and then you will see it will tell you import iTestListeners. It means it's asking you, so the code is everywhere, it's already there. It's a part of in testng, so it's already, all of the code is in testng API. All you have to just import the package. So this is your package, org testng. That's why it's called org testng, right? Click on up there, and then still there is a a error. Hover your mouse, it's saying now it's saying there's a two option: add unimplemented method, make type listener. So it's saying those method, it comes by default with the body, without a body definition, with your listener class. Yeah, it's saying, do you want to add those unimplemented method, because it's not still implemented, because it's not there yet. You will select the first one, add unimplemented method. Click up there. You see automatically all the methods comes over here, right? I didn't have to create anything, right? Automatically it comes all the methods. That's a part of iTestListener interface, and as well as it automatically comes all the related the package. You see, job is pretty easy. now let's how I'm going to use. Say example, I want to use our on test success. Okay, let's do that. So this is your listener class, right? And this listener class, definitely before you run, you have to tell where your web driver information, right? It's have to be tell somewhere, because this listener will execute in some application. Where those application, where the URL of the application, where your web driver information. So your web driver information in base 1 class. So example, I'm going to use base 1 because since so that I can write more code over here. It's already base is already have the code, but it's gonna be good if you see the writing the code. So assume that this is my base class. Okay, so in the base class you have the the URL of the testing application, you have the web driver information. So you need this code first, right? At the very beginning, when you write the code, what do you need to do? You have to give the knowledge about your driver information as well as the web applications information. That this is my web, and this is the the common things that we want to do, like remove all of the cookies, maximize your window, implicit, add some implicitly, wait, all those things, right? So this is this, and this code is in under the base class in initialize driver. So I need to call this initialize driver. So when you call this driver, this method, before you call this method is part of base 1 class, right? So if you want to use any method, any public method from another class in the same project, what do you need to do? It's a very simple way you can call this method. One of the easy way that you can create an object of this class and then use the object reference and call the related method. So this is my class. So create an object of this class, how we can do. And at the very beginning, you have to give this information. So right here, right? So you will say new, create an object of a class, new class name, right? And then we already did. And then, whatever the object reference, say, did a B is object reference, and the class name return type is a class name, right? And then if you want to use, now if you want to say B dot, easily you can type the object reference. If you use the B dot, it should come up. Or maybe it's already used, that's why. Hold on. Say BA. Okay. So if you use a BA dot, why? Where is that? Base 1. Okay. It should come up. Oh, hold on. I think you can call here. Yeah, here. Okay, so if you want, you can call that method wherever you need to use under any other method. So say B1. So where is the initialize driver? You see? Sorry. Okay. So that's a way you can call that method, any method in this classes, in this base class. Okay. If there is more method comes, you can call anywhere wherever you need. So that's why we create the object reference, right? Create the object of that class and then use the object reference. Is that clear, guys?
Yeah.
Right, so let's go now. Here, say example, I want to use example is in this here. I say example, if I want to use what is the on test failure, so on test success. Say in on test success, I want you just put some print statement. I wanna get it some print statement here. Say sys out. So I wanna say this executed successfully. Okay, so just this, it will print this message after all the methods get passed. Okay, and then on failure, on test failure, this is the main part where you would like to see, all the test cases got failed. You get some screenshot. But we don't have any in our test classes. In our actual test, this is not test, this is a listener, right? In our test classes, we don't have any real test cases that going to fail, because we have, say example, we have, I think day one we have a failure test failed, but this is not implement to any specific application, right? We didn't use those things any application. We just use just simple some of a print statement. So there is no application, we use this method. So it will not have the some screenshot here, but maybe I would say let me find, hold on. So let's create another class. Say I would say class, I would give a name, probably listener test, or listen, is that a listener test I give? Okay, say so give a name test test one. I'll just, yes, and then here, so this is will be class where I will have actual test cases so that we can see some of the failure stuffs. Okay, let's rename over here test. I would say just exercise is test. Let's rename to test. Okay. So let's here I will put for now, for base class, I would say where the base class. So base class, you have this information. The same thing I can do. So assume that this is your test class. Test, this is your test class, and you have a test method, right? So I'm going to add the test annotation. And here I will give a name, say example login. Let's move the website address. Probably I would give your address Salesforce instead of code box. Salesforce login. So I'm just changing the URL, okay, in a base class, base one class. So you have it. This is the this is the URL. Save it. So here now I'm going to write a actual code. So I would say public void, say I'm giving you method name, test method name, do login, and then I will. So when you need, what do you need over here? You need all the driver information, all those things. So to have it, what can we do? We can, same thing we can do, we can create an object of this class over here so that I can call this method. So I would say new base one and create an object of this method, use say b, and then return type is the same, right? And then here, okay, hover your mouse, import that test annotation, testing annotation, right? And then here first I need the driver information, driver and URL information. So let's call this method. How are you gonna call this method? Using the object reference over here, because I already created an object of the same method. So I would say b dot, so you can see the method name over here, initialize driver, right? b dot initialize driver. So it is there, this method is already there. So let's put this one in a variable, is called driver, right? And then hover your mouse, and its return type would be web driver, say import web driver, right? So what is doing this one? So you're calling this method, and this method have the driver information, your URL, your application URL information, and implicitly wait, and at the end you're returning this the driver. So who's doing all those things? Your driver. And when you return it, it means its returns goes to the over here, all this returns. So all this together is knowledge is passing through the driver to your methods. Your method is, so you're calling this method, it means it will do the all those things. So what's the return? It's returning, you're returning driver. That's why I put this over here. Again, the same driver and return type is the same, web driver, you know, the type is web driver. So it means this driver have the knowledge about all the works you are going to do by this method, right? So now this driver is working as an actual this driver because its return type is same. Okay, and then you can put this one. Now now after it's launched the page here, this line will launch the page in Chrome driver, in Chrome, right? And Chrome driver will launch it. So after you launch this, let's go to the site. What do you want to do? So let's go open an URL. Here what I want to do, I want to say, I want to, you know, username. This is a login, so I would say username, password, and then I will click up there. Okay, so let's click on username. So define the username, inspect the username. You guys can see my screen, right? I hope that you're able to, right? Okay, so yeah. Define your username. So username, this is the code. Here I can use, I think I can use, let's use one of the simple one, ID. So ID is pretty much unique, I know. So let's use the ID. Okay, let me put in a notepad. So ID, let me put in a notepad, ID. Okay, ID, this is the ID. I'm going to use the ID, and let's get the password also. So what's the password? Password also, there is an ID value, is called also password, right? I'm just putting on a notepad on my other screen those values, and then login. So login, you can use a name, submit type ID, you can use ID. So let's use the name that time, name. Okay, name attribute, and the value is login. Okay, simple. Let's minimize it there. So here, so after it will open here, when you call this method, it will open your application, and then first you want to click on the login box, right? And then you type something. So to do this, what do you need to do? We're going to say driver dot find element, by, we got for the you know, your username, it's a for, we need to click on here username, right? So driver.find element, we got an ID for this, so we'll use the driver.find element by ID, and then put the value. So what was the value? In my notepad, username, it was the value, right? It was the value, ID here. And what do you need to do? So this is the locator of the username box for field, and then you want to type something, right? So you have to put the, to type it, send key. Where is the send keys? And then say you put some, I will put some invalid username so that it's failed. Say test @ say, just put any hello.com, random username and password. Okay, so this is the username of, oh sorry, it have to be in double quotation. Good. And after that, so I put the send keys. So it's a username, then it's a password, right? So let's go driver dot find element by dot, it was also ID, I remember, and that the value of the password field, it's a password. I'll put the same. Password, and then we'll use the send keys again, and then let's put this some passwords example. I would say just random password. So our intention is to make it fail, right? And then click on login button. So driver dot find element, and then it was the we use, I think, name, I believe, right? The name attribute. Okay, I believe I used the name on by, okay, yes, name. Driver dot by, okay, here I will use by dot name. What is the name? Name, and the value of the name was this dot. I will click, right? So it will submit, right? So pretty much that's it. And then we'll say we have to use some assertion. So if it's say, now we know it's going to fail. So how you are going to, your test case will understand this is a pass or fail. You have to put some expected result between your pass or fail. So let's we're making this intentionally failed. So we know this failed, but you have to put some assertion, and your assertion will define your test case is a pass or fail, right? So I would able to define it in real life after you have a successful username and login password, and it will supposed to land to your home page. And a home page, you will say probably from the home page you will get the title or something on the home page, some of the other element that you can confirm, okay, it landed up there. Since I don't have the valid username password, I don't know exactly what shows the home page, so I will make it fail. I will put some code over here related to your assertion so that it shows it's fail, right? So I will use the, say, hard assert. So I would say assert dot assert true. I will make it false. So assert dot assert true. Assert, what is the assert true? Assert dot assert true. Assert dot assert true, and then I will put in false, so it will fail. Okay, it will fail, and then it's supposed to take the screenshot. I hope this will work that way. Okay, but in real life, this will statement will depends on after you log in, and it's supposed to land on a home page. Probably you will get your title of that page, from the home page, and then you will compare your title, your expected title, with your actual title, and you will say over here assert equals, and then you will put the expected title and the actual title. If this match, it will pass, otherwise it will fail. But we're making intentionally hard fail over here because we didn't log into the actual page. I don't know what's inside because I don't have the actual real username password so that I can see. Okay, I guess you understand, guys, right? So our intention is fail so that I get a screenshot. Okay, I get an actual screenshot from there. Okay, using our listener class. So this is the scenario that I can, I'm just making to see that how the listener classes work. So our test class is done. Save it, and now come back to here in the listener. Okay, so I don't have anything in the past, so that's fine, and let's work on the failure. On test failure, I'm going to use, okay, so now first let's see what I want to do. On test failure, remove this guy, So here I'm going to, okay, let's make it a very simple thing. Say I'll put some print statement. Sys out, we'll see, and then I would say the failure, the method name, just we'll print the method name that's got failed. Okay, in our print statement we'll say the failure method name is. Before I get this screenshot, first let's see this how this works. We'll just have some simple print statement. That's we want to see the method name. It will show the failure method name is whatever the method got failed. So example, if it's a fail this method, like this do login method fail, it's supposed to tell you this print statement, the failure method name is do login method. Okay, so this is the print statement plus, because we're going to show where the method name comes from, because this method, this job, this on test failure method to listen only those method got failed, and where from this information comes from this result, you know, variable, because this result variable type is itest result, where I have all the knowledge about the methods you have in different classes. So we can use the result, this variable result. You will see there's a lots of more method. It's comes with this result dot. You can see there's a lots of method over here, because all those methods comes from this result type, itest result from here. So one of the method is called get name. Okay, get name. This will get this method will specifically will get the name, the method name, those method name which is like, you know, it's failing, because this is using inside this on test method failure. If we use the same code on test success, it will only give you the name, method name, those are only got passed, because it depends on where you are using this method inside the what, you know, specifically method you are using inside that. So if you use under the on test failure, it will only give you the method name which got what method got failed. Similarly, if you use on test success, it will only get you method name which is got passed. Okay, so let's get there. Pretty much, yes, pretty much that's it. So save it. So what I'm going to do now, I have to, you know, run those things, because it's we use over here exercise, we use a test, right? Test annotation. So it's a testng, so we have to run from the testng. So let's go to the testng.xml file, listener, maybe here. Okay, this is testng.xml file. So let's test that. So I'm going to, I create a separate, so how you are going to call that, you know, run your listener stuff. So if you have a listener in your framework, you have to add your listener at the very top, right after you shoot. Okay guys, so up until now we have seen, you know, in how you customize your testng.xml file, right? Like this one, testng.xml, right? We have seen, so you have a suite, and then inside the suite you have a test module, and then test module you have some classes, right? Classes, in every class's name, and then you can exclude or include some methods. You can have multiple test module, and at the end you close each test module will get closed, like here, and then at the end suit. But if you have a listener in your framework, you have to give the knowledge your testng about your listener too. Are you following, everyone? Because, you know, we're running everything through the testng.xml file. This is your heart of your execution. This is a one-click execution, and will execute everything. So if your testng.xml file doesn't have the knowledge about your listener, so how it will, you know, trigger those listener classes, you know, all those things. So whatever you create the classes, whatever you do, that, you know, mechanism over here, your testng.xml file have to be knowledge otherwise that class will not get executed, because you are not running those classes individually. Where that's why, like, we created separate module, and every module we added all the classes we need to add over here, right? And we can exclude. It has the option, so it has the option also to add your what's called your listener class too. Okay, so that's it has that it can do, right? So I'm not going to touch over here. I have another listener testng.xml file, so I'm gonna customize this one. So let's customize this one here. So first is, so your listener, where now the question is where you are going to place your listener information. Your listener information is going to be right after your suite name. So your suite, this is your suite, right? Say example, I would say here maybe I would say what called Salesforce login. Salesforce, I'm just giving you just random, okay? And then here, just right after your suite, you are going to put a similar like a classes, okay? You are put the listeners. So you may have a more than one listener class. So whatever the number of listener class, you can put it here. So you will have a tag name. It's a listeners, okay? And after that, you will write a listener tag. And then same is, since the listener is a class, so it's a class dash name. This way you are going to write. So there is a little bit different to write your listener class and other classes. Okay, class name, then the same thing where you're going to use your project name, which is the test, and then your listener class name. So in this case, I have a previous listener, it's a listener demo, but I create a new one. I think the name is listener test. So I will update here. I will say NER TENER listener, then test, right? You have to make sure you write exactly the same way, right? The name is exactly the same way. Okay, so this is the way you are going to define your listener information in your XML file. And after that, it's the same. So here you have a test. So let's give a, I give a, say, my module name, say login. I just give a name, okay? And then what's the class name? So I'll put the class name, your project name, test, and what's my class name? This is my class name. This is my actual test class, right? Test exercise. Test exercise, right? Sorry, test. Make sure everything is looks same name. Test exercise. Right, exactly same exercise, right? Let's remove this guy. So close the classes. Everything good. Save it. Okay. So this is the way you are going to, write or update your listener XML file with the listener information. Okay. So this will call your suite will say, okay, you have a listener. Your test injection. So first it will say, okay, listener. Okay, where is the listener class? It will go to the listener class here. Listener, and then it will see what it's doing. It's getting what is what is there any method that needs to execute. It will say, okay, yes, it has a two method have a code, so it will follow those method and do the job. And apparently it will see, okay, where those method will applicable, what that actual test cases. So it will get the information about the test cases from this your test module. Okay, it will find, okay, there is a test class, and this class it will go that class, and after that it will find all the information over here, and it will say it's failed. Okay, so I didn't put any code related to take the screenshot. There will be no screenshot, but I'm expecting it will print the method name. That's this one, the failure method name is, and then it will print the method name. So whatever the method name is, the do login method name. Okay, so let's go here and then run it. I hope everything is good. So let's run it. Okay. Okay. Okay, good. So close it. Let's close it. Let's see. It's saying total run 1 and it's failures 1, right? It's supposed to fail because we said it fail. And then in our testng listener, we said we put some code on on test failure. On test failure, we said if any method fails, and then you print some message. What's the method? And the failure method name is, so you can see in the statement also the failure method name is, or there is a space, should be space, we can put some space, and then result.method name. It means whatever the result, whatever the method got failed, it should be print that method name. You can see method name is do login, it says over here. You can put some another space. And then how to put the space? You can put empty string. That will make some space over here between your is and then this result. Okay. So the result, it's called do login. So what is that? A do login, the method we got over here? Yes, do login method. Are you following, guys? Right? Isn't it interesting? So that's the way it will listener. You see that how listener is working depends on what method inside the listener you are using and what you want to do. If you want to just print some statement when any method fail, it will do. If you want to take the similar now screenshot, it will do. Is that okay? Are you okay? You gotta understand up to this
Yeah.
now.
I have one thing. Why we cannot do it like direct from the main test exercise?
And
Why we need the listener class?
Why you need the
Why?
listener class? Because listen,
Yeah.
it's already predefined class.
Like before we use the testng.xml like day 1, day 2, day 4. Why we cannot do like this way?
I mean, you are talking about in day 1, you can put all the code related to the listener up there, right? That's what it,
Just let me explain. So before we do the testng.xml, so like how we use the day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. So that time we don't need the listener class.
no, because we didn't learn the listener at that time.
Yeah,
So this is
that's
another-
the thing
Another features of the testng that do some other steps to make your test case more easy. Because when you do a test, you execute your test cases. So either you will test cases. Think about manual. When you execute any test case manually, say example similar thing here. So this is your your Salesforce. This is your application, and you put some username, password, click on login, and you expect to log in and land on the home page, but it didn't. It means your test case got failed. So either your username, password wrong, or this function is not working. So you have to now file a bug. File a bug, it means you are going to submit a report, and you will let the developer know that okay, this test case failed because this looks like this function is not working using valid username, valid password. So there is a process, there is a template every I think in our beginning of the classes. Remember this when we did the agile classes, and we use Zira, and Zira has we showed like how how there is an option that you can file a bug. So it has the options to file a bug. Every tools, they have the option. So whatever the tools they are using, either Qtest or Zira, it has an option to file a bug. So you are going to file a bug. On the time when you file a bug, you're gonna write you will create a ticket. It's like a ticket. You will in the description you will put the steps, like how you reproduce that issue. So you will say, okay, I go to there, then I write the username, as this valid username, and I put the some password, valid password, and I click on login, and it shows some error message. And that time it's good to have some screenshot also. People, they manually they take the screenshot of this, and then they copy, and then they attach that screenshot with the submission file, so that the developer, when and that ticket is assigned to the developer, and then developer they pull this, and they follow the your steps, including they see the screenshot. So we didn't learn, in automation, how we gonna do this. In automation, we have learned how to enter a username, password, and also using assertion, which I've seen. We can use assertion, where assertion will help you to define your test case got pass or fail. But now, if you want to take the screenshot, or if you want to do some extra job, either when your test case pass, you want to do something like you notify something, or you want to take a screenshot when your test case got failed, or if you want to just know what test case got failed, the name of the test case, that's the extension part of your automation. So when you do manually, you will take the screenshot, right? There's a lot of screenshot tools, or you can use your.
For that reason, we need the listener.
That's right. For this extension part, you need to. We didn't learn that part. We didn't go that far. So now it's time to. We're moving forward, and we're going to complete all the process that we do in manually. Since this is now we're learning automation, we have to know everything we know in manually, how we can convert it automate.
Okay.
Right? So
now I got it.
now this is the part to learn, after either you pass or fail your test cases, if you want to do anything. So one of the important thing is get to know, say you have 100 test cases or 500 test cases, and out of 500, 5 test cases got failed. How do you gonna know that what the name of the test cases got failed? I mean, from there you can know it. From here you can know, okay, total. Still you can know the number, name of it. Here, if you go result of running test suite, it will tell you exactly. This is your, the class of the got failure method, and this is your the class that's sorry, this is your here you can see that this is your test exercise, and this is here is the main is your method got failed, like 2. So you can get the name from here too, but nobody knows that. So it's good to other people will not able to see your screen, this one, and this is not the place you are going to get the report. There is a way that you will get some report. So I can show you. If you just in testng, there is another features that it will create an actual report. So you can get the actual report, and you take this screenshot and you share with your manager, like, okay, here is the report of that all my exercise, and here is the name. Say example, if you just let me refresh it, where you can find it. If you go test output in the folder, and then you will find there is a HTML index.html file. So copy, properties, go properties, and then copy this URL, and then if you close it, open your browser, go here, you can see this is it create. This is the part of also XML testng.xml. It's create a result report card. So it shows you like what method passed, what method got failed, what's the class name. You can see it's result, and there's one method ran, one method failed, and method here is the name is do login. If you click there, it will give you more details information. If you see one test here, it will tell you this. If you click in there, it will tell you do login. This is the where this method, how the method got failed in this area, the assertion error. Okay, it expected it true, but we put the false. So we intentionally made it false to make it fail, right? So it will tell you exactly those things. It's a very simple report card. There's a lot of other customized report card people use, but this is comes with your testng also. It's very simple. Okay, so those things, and you can see more timing when it was ran, all those things. So usually people they take this screenshot at the end of your execution, and then they send this report to your manager. But anyways, So to get the screenshot when you file a bug, or you want to do something, that's why they create this Selenium developer, the guys, they create this iTestListener classes, so that you don't have to write all the code. You just update the method you want to do something. Is that clear now, everyone? It makes sense now
Yes.
why we need to use this listener class?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, and listener is a very important topic. It's a very important topic, and a lot of times people they ask during the interview. Okay, sometimes they ask like what the class you need to implement in your listener class. So you'll say the class name is iTestListener. Okay, and then sometimes they may give you even ask, okay, how you gonna take the screenshot if the method got failed? That's very common things they ask. So we'll see now. So first, now we are going to see to take the screenshot, how we can take the screenshot. Okay, so first I went through simple code, just how to get the the name of the method. Now we don't want this, we want to get that. So I'm putting it comment up there, so that if this code doesn't get executed. So I'm going to now use the, let's close this window. I'm going to now write some code that will help you to take some screenshot. Okay, so to do this, let me, okay, so to do this, let me go through our base class again. So whenever any method will get fail, what do you want? So this is my failure. This will write some code over here, and that code will get executed, which the main job will be of that code to take some screenshot, specifically that is screen where it got failed, and it saves somewhere in your in your project, or it saves somewhere in your computer in a folder, and then so that from there we can get this screenshot. Okay, that's our job. Excuse me. So it means this is some sort of like repeating job. Like any method will get failed, it will take that code will get executed, right? So it could be 10 methods, could be 100 methods. So no matter what number of method will get failed, it will execute some sort of code. That code will do that job to take the screenshot. So it means that's a repeating task, isn't it? It's a repeating task. So we need that. Since it's repeating, I would prefer to create a specific separate method, and inside that method I will put some code. The code will actually take the screenshot where it means when the method got failed. And so since it's a repeating code, the job is going to be repeated. So I'm going to put this method inside this my base class here. I will create another method, and then from there, that method, I will call that method in this onTestFailure method over here. So since onTestFailure method is job to listen all the method got failed, and I'm going to say, okay, whenever you see any method got failed, you just execute, call that method that I write in base class, call that method and execute up here. So as soon as this method will see any method got failed, it will call that actual code. There will be a method over here that the job is that code, or that method job would be just to take the screenshot and save somewhere. Okay, and why I'm preferring to write over here, because it will be reusable. No matter how many method is going to fail, it will call every time. So it's a reusable code. It's called, in other sense people they said utility method. So it's all reusable code. So since I create this base class to put all the reusable code, so I can create the method over here. Okay. So let's create a method over here. I will give a name. Excuse me. So this is the Okay, so here, so let's create another method. So as I was saying, so you gotta understand, right? So why I'm going to create another method over here in my base class, because taking the screenshot, it's a reusable. Every time the method gets failed, it's going to be, you know, a call, it's going to execute the same code. So I don't need to write the code up there. I mean, I could write the code here too in the listener class up there. Other than, you know, it's good to have, since it's reusable, I create a separate method and put it over here, and I will just call that method, you know, in my listener class, in my listener inside the listener class, wherever the method, and then it will be execute whenever it needs. Okay, so it's easier, it's a little bit more organized. So let's create that method. I would say, let's give a name, method name. So I'll say public, say void, and then since it's related with a screenshot, I will say get a screenshot. Also method name, it's get a screenshot. Okay, and then, and if you notice, every time I create a method, I started with the void, and later on, if there is a return, I change the method type based on whatever I return. So it's better, it's easy to start. Otherwise, you have to think in advance and put the your return type, whatever it's supposed to you return, right? So it starts with the void, it's easier, and then change at the end. And here, I have to, what I'm going to do, okay, WebDriver initialize, okay, driver. Okay, let's make, so I need over here drivers, because to get a screenshot in you know, in testng, there's a lot of methods related. You know, it's a free method that you have to call, like get a screenshot as. So those are the part, and those things comes from the driver. So but I declare the driver over here. You know, here I declare the driver. The driver is here inside this initialize driver method. So this driver is local, that is, it's a, you know, declared as a local, is not public, I mean it's not global. So if I want to use the same driver over here, like driver.find element, it will not use. If you see, I can just, let's use the driver. You will see this driver is not recognized. Driver dot, it doesn't find anything. You see the reason why, because this driver is limited to inside this method, because I put the driver information inside a method. So it's considered as a local variable. This driver is a local. So if I want to use outside of this method, I have to make this driver as a global, so that any place, any other method, any other places I can use. To do this, let's declare this driver, you know, outside of this method here, and make it public. So let's make it public driver. Okay, and then what's the type? Type is WebDriver, right? This is just a variable, and but if you put it as a WebDriver type, so it will consider this one is a is a very you know, the actual driver. The driver type is WebDriver. So this means this driver is this driver, and let's make it as a, I would say, static, so that I can directly use. Okay, now if you use this driver, same driver, here it will see, you will find this all the method related, you see, it's available. Now this driver is global, so you can use this driver anywhere inside as many methods you write. Okay, that's why, understood? I hope that you understood why I make this driver as a global variable. Okay, I believe that you remember that during in our Java class, you know, we said like there was a local variable, global variable. We had a conversation on local variable. It means if you declare any variable inside a method, and it means the variable, it's born inside a method and dies inside a method. It cannot work outside the method. So to use the same variable outside of the method or inside any other method, you have to declare the driver as a you know, public, as a global. So you can call this use this driver as many places, as many wherever you want inside, you know, in same classes. You can use this driver even outside, you know. That time, you know, same, we have to create an object of the class and then call this variable. But anyways, I hope that we don't want to go back that Java class. So driver, so now come back to here. Here we are going to create the code inside this method. We will take the screenshot. So let's put the what we have to do. We are going to use driver dot, there's a method, it's called get screenshot. Get screenshot. Driver dot get screenshot as. So you are going to type it. Sometimes it doesn't come, but you have to, since you are going to know after doing this exercise. So the method name is get screenshot, screenshot, screenshot as, get screenshot as. Yeah, you have to remember that you are going to type exactly. So what do you have to do? You are going to just keep this code, and whenever you need in your actual work, you will just use the copy paste, or if you search on Google, you will see lots of people have the similar code. As long as you know it, how it works, then you can use any place wherever it needs. So get screenshot as, and then so it will, you're calling a method is called get screenshot as. So it will take the screenshot as what type of file. So when you take a screenshot, it could be like JPG file. It would be file, right? It will be PNG or JPG file. So you have to declare the type of the file. So what type of file? So you have to type output type. So what would be the output of that file? The type. You type output type dot, and you will say, okay, what would be the type of that file? It's a file type, right? So you will click on file, select the file. So output type dot file. Okay, so I hope does it make sense. So you are saying you are calling a get screenshot method. That method will take the screenshot, and when you take the screenshot, it will be some sort of file. So this is, you have to tell that that screenshot is that what would be that output type of that. So is that a like file? Is that going to be any notepad? What? So you are saying that file, that object would be a file. So you have to declare the output type as a file. So hover your mouse, still you will say it's saying you add cast to driver. So you have to cast your driver for this, to work this get screenshot method. So click on there. It will automatically will tell you. You will see this. Your driver will add the cascade. So it will be a bracket over here. That's fine. And then here inside this remote web driver, you will put another method. Another method name is called take a screenshot. I know it's not straightforward, but that's the way you'll keep this code for yourself and just copy paste and use it. But you have to know the explanation how it's going to work, right? So takes a screenshot. You put the take screenshot. Okay, hover your mouse, import the take screenshot package, and after that you put this one in a variable. I will explain you, just give me a sec. I will see this is src source, and then I will type what is the type of the source. It's a file. Okay, let me explain this. So what I'm doing, I'm using the driver. Our driver, it has a method, it's called get screenshot. So get screenshot method, get screenshot as. When you get a screenshot, you have to tell, you will have two things. When you take a screenshot, you will have two things. Number one is the two things. First, you have to take the screenshot, and then you have to make sure that you have to tell what is the type of that screenshot. Is that a file, or is that a text? Whatever it is, you have to tell, right? So there's the two things. So for driver, first you're saying driver get a screenshot as, you are declaring type of the file. The type of output type is file type. Like it could be any type file, like PNG, JPG, you know, usually it's a PNG or JPG file, so it's easier that we can see it. And then before that, after that, it's asking you automatically, your IntelliJ or your Eclipse will ask you to cascade your driver so that you can call another method. The method name you have to remember is called take screenshot. So take screenshot, this is the actual method. Will take the screenshot, and then this will help you get a screenshot. It will help you to declare the type of the file of this screenshot. So type, what is the screenshot? Its a screenshot is going to be a file type. And then excuse me, you are putting this file. So now it's everything is working, this code is working behind the scene in your Java heap or Java virtual memory. Okay, so you put this screenshot in a variable, you save in a variable, because you have to save this file somewhere. So you said, okay, I'm declaring a variable, it's called src source. This source variable will have the knowledge of the screenshot, which is the file type. So since source variable is will have the knowledge of the file, so when you declare a variable, you have to type a return type. So what is the return type? It's a file return type, right? Because this source is holding a file, a screenshot, so it's a file, so that's why its return type is file. Okay, so hover your mouse, still there is some error because you have to import related to the file. Import file Java IO, and it's gone. Okay, now excuse me, so this source have the knowledge. Now this source have the knowledge. This source file will have the have the knowledge about the screenshot in your virtual memory, in Java virtual memory. Okay, let me put the note here. I'm going to say what it's doing. It's what's saying the driver. I'm saying driver, web driver takes a screenshot, or takes the screenshot, as a file, type, and save in src source variable in virtual memory. Okay, virtual memory. Okay, that's what we're doing. This is the comment, and this line is doing exactly the same thing. Okay, so so now this source src, this variable have the knowledge about the file exactly now, and it is where it is in Java virtual memory. So it's not a real, so we haven't put anywhere in your actual memory. Like actual memory, it means in your project or in a C drive, any drive, we haven't put this. Unless we put this one from there, from this file, from this variable, unless we put there, we will not see that visual copy of this screenshot. So now our next job would be copy the file. So this will be our next job. Copy the file, like src file. So src will have the screenshot. So copy the src file and put it in your local machine. Put it in your local machine. Okay, so now we have to write the code to this job. So when you get a copy of this file in your local machine, so you can see actual visual that copy. So how to do this? So first it's local machine. One more look. So how to do this? So we'll have another method in Java. It's called file utils method. File utils. Sorry, not the method. It's a class. File utils. File utils class, and it has some method to do some copy and paste. File utils method class, it has a method, it's called copy. What do we need to copy? So we have to copy this source folder, right? Source file. Copy and then paste in or put somewhere in your local machine. So file utils class, it has a method, it's called copies. Let's see, copy, copy. I can put this one, copy, you can see there's a lot of copies method. Copy, you will see that what is the copy? You are going to copy a file, so you have to choose the file. Copy file, file, source file, destination. I think this one would be your better option to use. Copy file. So because why you are choosing this? Because our src source is a file. It has a file, so we're going to copy same file, and it will have some two parameter inside a parameter. One is file source file, another one is called destination file. So it means where the file is going to copy and where you are on to put. Okay, so let's select this one. So in file utils class, it has a method, it's called copy file, and copy file has a two parameter, it's called source file. So source file, it means where you are going to copy. So your copy source file would be, if this is your source file, src. Okay, src. So this is the source. So you put over here, parameter is src, and then your destination. So where, it means where you want to put this file, right? We save it. So what is your destination? So destination, I have to declare, create a folder and declare something. So to do the destination, okay, I'm going to create a new folder. New, you can see file. So it's going to be, this is my paste. Okay, this is my destination. So in destination, I'm putting a file, putting a, since this is the file, so here I'm saying it will be a paste file or new file. Where, are you guys with me? Everybody is very quiet.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the destination. I'm creating a destination folder where I'm going to put the new file. Where this new file comes from here. So I'm going to say I will declare in my C drive, whatever you want to put. Okay, in your C, and then in your C you create a folder. How to create a folder? Let's give a name folder ScreenShot. Screenshot, say folder, whatever you say, or screenshot, test, whatever, it's up to you. So this is the way you are going to declare your folder. So this is the in C drive, and it will create a folder name is screenshot test. So, and after that you want to, here is one more thing. If you just do this one in this folder, it will be paste the same file, whatever is over here. So it will be one screenshot, and whatever every time you take a screenshot, it's give you it's a what is the file name? It create a random file name. So if you have a more than one test failed, and if it takes two screenshot, so it will save your first screenshot in this folder, and the next time if it gets another screenshot, your previous screenshot will be replaced by the your new screenshot, because the name would be the same. You didn't define the name of the screenshot. Are you following? So every time you take a screenshot, if you don't give a name of the screenshot, it will have the similar screenshot name, all of that. So one file, same name cannot have more than one file, but you want to make sure all of your file have the same name. Different name, right? If you have a 10 screenshot and each and every screenshot have a unique name, then all of them will save. But if all of them have the same name, it will be replaced by the updated file. The latest file will be there and previous will be replaced, because the file name is same. So we have to define the screenshot name uniquely, so that all the screenshots saved up there and doesn't replace one by one with another. Are you following, guys? Is it make sense?
Yeah.
I know it's a little bit complicated, but think the real life. When you take a screenshot, it comes with the name, and if you take the same pictures, another screenshot, it will be the same name by default. And if you want to save the same file, either it will tell you first you want to replace that file. Then if you say yes, it will automatically replace with the latest one, and old one will be gone. But we want to have all the screenshot, all the methods got failed with the we want to have all the screenshot. It means this is possible only if you all the screenshot have a unique name. So the best idea to have a unique name each and every screenshot, that file name would be by the method name. If we can do this, like every screenshot, it means it comes from a method, the fail method, and every method will have a unique method name. The method name will be always unique. We can't use the same like do login method, another do login method. If you use the same name, it will not take. So you have to, your method name would be unique. So if you have a unique method name, and no matter what how many method got failed, if you get the screenshot by the method name, so your screenshot file name would be by the method names. It means the file name would be unique. So there will be no chance to replace one with another one. Okay, so to do this, I'm going to write some extra code over here. So here I want to say method name. Okay, so what I want to say, the file name would be by the method name. What method name? The fail method name. Say I will say over here, let's give a method name. So I would say the method name, whatever I'm saying in English language, I will give a name over here. I tell the same thing. Or the method name. Sorry, method name. So method name, it's unknown. This code doesn't know what is method name. We have to define this, this method name. What does it mean? Our intention is this method name. It means it's going to be the name by the actual, the method got failed. The actual method name is got failed from our classes. So right now I'm just giving a variables example, method name. So assume that this will get the information about the method name. And after you get the method name, what would be after that? After that, you are going to say, it will be just say method name. Then with this, you will say screenshot.png. Pretty much say, let me take a screenshot. What I'm meaning. So take a screenshot. Okay, you can see when you take the screenshot, it's give you some it automatically give you some file name. So if you take the same screenshot, it will give the same another the name with a number 1 2 3, and it will ask you if you want to save the same screenshot without changing the name, the file name. It will tell you want to replace the this screenshot with the old one, and it will be by default, it will automatically replace. So it's better. What I'm saying, I'm going to rename this screenshot. So example, save it. So if I want to rename, come on. So here I'm saying the name would be by the method name. So method name, whatever the method name, whatever the method will get failed, and the screenshot about from that method. So method name, say for this it will be this example, our do login failed. So will be method name is do login, and then I'm saying with this we'll add a screenshot, and this the type would be, so the name would be like this format, method name and then screenshot keyword. So method name keyword, and it will save as a PNG file. So if I save, it's a desktop or any folder, it will be saved up there as a do login screenshot. This will be my intention, and it's a PNG. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing here by my code. So here the method name, so this method name will replace by the actual method name, the method got failed, and then here I'm adding the screenshot word. Okay, screenshot key, the word. So this is why, and its type would be PNG. So that's why it is a double quotation, because it is a string, and this is method, it will be replaced by the name. So that's why it's not a string. So here I would say screenshot dot, what would be the type? PNG. Okay, so this file utils class have a copy file. This copy file have a two parameter, one is source, another one is destination. Our source file, it comes from here, from the virtual, and the destination would be our place where we would like to paste this. So where the place, this is the place. It's a what do you, this is the place, and where what is this in this place going to store? It's a file. It's going to store a file, so that's why it's a file. You are saying this is a new file, and then it's store. This is a folder you create in C drive, and then you said it will be named by the method name. So I have to now define, you know, how this method name, this word is going to be replaced by the actual method. I haven't defined yet, but I will define. And then so assume that this will get the by the method name, as well as with the method name, then it will say screenshot, and the file type will be png. Now this method name, this word, this is just a word, like a variable. This word, how this word will get replaced by the actual method name. So I have to declare, you know, I have to instead of to get this one, I have to pass a variable for this variable, so that it gets some information by the actual method name. So let's copy the same. It just declare this one as a variable, because it's say, you know, I don't know what is method name, so I have to give some information about this variable. And so I'm going to declare this variable over here, method name. And what is it? It is a, so method name would be string. So when you declare a variable with a method, you have to pass the variable with a parameter. So parameter means you have to pass the type of the variable. So the method name is a string, right? So it will be, this variable will be replaced by the actual method name, which is a string. So let's put the string variable here, right? So now okay, here we go. So it's saying, you know, it's a add through declaration. Let's put the add through declaration. Okay, so now this method name is it's coming from here. This method name is coming from here, and its type is a string. So how this method name will get replaced by actual method name? Now you will see this one. Okay, so this part, it's good. This is the reusable code. It will take the screenshot as a file and will put in a source variable, and then it will be the copy file method will do the copy and put in a C drive somewhere in a folder, and it will save as a method name, which is screenshot and png file. Now let's get back to, we have to call this method, this screenshot method. We have to call this screenshot method where? In our listener class. In our listener class where this fail method code here is on test fail method. So on test fail method, since it's listen, all the method gets fail. Here if I call that method, this screenshot, so whenever any method will get fail, it will call that method and it will take the screenshot and it will save up there. So let's call this method now. This is now its job is easy. Are you following, guys? I hope this up until now it's okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so to call that method, that's why I already created the object reference of that class. So what is the object reference? Is a BA, right? So if you use the BA here, BA dot, so now you can call this method. You can see initialize driver get a screenshot, right? Get a screenshot is available there, and now get a screenshot method is available there. So you call that method, and that method, remember this method here, this method have a parameter, have a variable which is called method name. So you have to, this is not the actual value. This method name doesn't mean just that it will have the actual name of the method, right? So this is just a variable. So I have to now pass, if you have a parameter, you have to pass the actual value that will be replaced of this method name variable, and it will come over here too. So let's, how we're gonna replace? So here instead of method name, I said this method name will hold the actual name of the method. How I can get the actual name of the method? If I just use this one, the result.getName. So pass this one over here, result. So copy this, your variable result. Make sure you copy it exactly the same name, dot get name. So okay, so this result.getName, we know that this result.getName, what it does, it will get the name those method got failed and follow, using this, this method, right? We have seen this, right? Previously, that's why I showed first this one, that this result.getName will get the name of only those method got failed, because we use this code under this listener method, right? So this will get the actual name, and it will pass when you call this method get a screenshot method over here. It will call over here, and it will see that it has a one variable is called method. So this inside the bracket, whatever you have, it has a one variable. So this variable will be replaced by this code. So this code result.getName is nothing, just actual name of the method name. So indirectly you are getting your method name over here. This method name, this variable will get the actual method name. It means you are using the same variable over here. It means over here we'll have the actual method name, and then with this will be concatenated with a screenshot, and then it will be PNG file. Are you following? See, that's how we're renaming your file as by the method name. And since method name will be unique, so all the file will be unique. Clear, guys? So here still there is a error. So hover your mouse, and it's saying you're surrounding with try catch block. So select that try catch block. So try catch block, I hope you remember why it's asking you to put this code between a try catch block. Remember that the try catch block, what it does? Can you remember, anyone? Try catch block, it's a block in Java that help you to put some of the code that you want to try, and if some reason this code doesn't work, so that your execution does not stuck. So if you are trying this code, whatever you put some code inside a try block, you are not sure because it may fail or it may fail or maybe not, right? So if all the test cases pass, so there will be no failure method, so this code will not work. And even though it failed, some reason this code doesn't work, and if any code doesn't work, usually your execution gets stopped. So that it doesn't stop, it moves to your catch block. If any reason try block doesn't work, you move to the catch block, and it executes some of the catch block stops. And catch block over here, it has one of the IO exception, and it has one of the method like print stack, and it will be just print exactly where the code didn't work, and your execution will not stop. So that's the intelligent advice that comes from your Eclipse editor is saying. So just go ahead and do this try catch block, put the code inside a try catch block. Okay, are you guys good with up to that now?
Yes.
Okay, so pretty much that's it. This is the only thing, in over here we're not doing anything, we just call the method, and then method will that from this base one, and it's supposed to do this. Okay, let's run our code again from the where this XML file. Let me save it first. If I save it, it's while saying okay, add cast to why is cast to bar. BA, okay, create method, get a screenshot, type. I have the method. Why it's sorry, hold on. Okay, you see that's that's a little bit issue. Where is the test listener? So as soon as I save this one, but I forgot to save the base class, so this method was not updated, so it didn't have the information. So when I save this, I said, you know, I have a method, this method in this base1 class, but it didn't find it, didn't able to sync it because I didn't save this class too. So a lot of times, you know, the issue happen raise, you know, unless, you know, because you didn't just simply save the class. Okay, so should be good now, and let's go to our XML file. So let's go to the same XML file. So let me save it one more time. I have the listener. Okay, run it. testng. Finger crossed. Okay. Okay, it failed. Good. Let's close it. Let me saying okay. System cannot find the specific, okay, cannot find the specific path, I believe. So you see there is an error. It's saying the system cannot find the path, a specific path. It means something wrong in Java 31. Okay, so it means in this base class I declare here, you know, ScreenShot, you know, it didn't find this folder, this place. Some reason it didn't find this folder. I mean, it didn't able to create this folder. So let me see my C drive.
It's for the backslash.
That should be okay. I mean, that's the way usually it's declare. Maybe, you know, I may have previously the same folder, because I don't know how many times I use maybe. So let me screenshot, give a name, say folder. Just give it new name. Okay, let me run again. Test exercise, run test stage. Let's see. Close it. Let still the same. HTML report, the system cannot find the path specified. But let me still check my C drive. Where is C drive? And then screenshot test. Okay, it did. Okay, hold on. But screenshot test. Okay, I think those are the old screenshot. No, that's not a, it should be. Okay, this is the old one. Okay. Go back. Screenshot. I given rename. I put the name screenshot folder. Screenshot didn't create the. Okay. Let me close it. Let's see again here. Testng base class. Okay, everyone. So I did a little bit change on my coding. I mean, it was the Windows issue, like, you know, so Windows 10, when you create, if you want to create some a folder, sometimes you need a permission. The Windows asks you, are you sure Windows permission? That was that issue. Other than there was no issues. okay, but I did a little bit change here. Let's get back to the test exercise class. So over there, you can either, like I showed previously, it was like, I create a I created for the base class, I create an object of the base class, and I use the object reference to call those methods. So you can use that, but since in a listener class I already create an object of the base class, so in here I'm just using the extend, so that I'm making this test class as a child class of the base class, right? So I can use, you can either way, you can make a child class using the extend, or you can create an object of the base class and use the object reference to call any method. So I'm trying to use both of them. So in test class, in test exercise, I just use the extend of the base class. So it means my test exercise is a child of base one, so I can call directly any one of the method from the parent class, which is the base one. So I call directly initialize driver, that does all the all the initialization related about this driver, everything. And then I put this I just making fail the test case. So to make the fail, so I put over here driver.get title. So after you click the login button, it's supposed to land, if it's a pass, it's supposed to land to the home page after it's successfully log in, and it's supposed to get the title. So whatever the title, I'm expecting the title is hello world, but since it will not able to go to the actual page because it's not the a valid username password, so it will fail. So it will get the the title from the same page, so it will not match. So I'm just making the test case intentionally fail so that I can get a screenshot, and then after that I use after method annotation to as a tear down method to close the window. Okay, and then nothing especially I change in a base class. For this get a screenshot method, it is everything same. I just so what I did, I create a folder over here. So to create a folder, right click, new, and then there is a folder. So I create a folder and I give a name. This name is screenshot test, same name, screenshot. Sorry, it's over here, screenshot test. Okay, so I give a name of a folder, screenshot test. So where in my project, okay, in my project level. So here, so let's say that where this folder is located here, this is the path of the folder. So get the path, and here for the destination file, I make a separate file name instead of writing everything over here. I could write everything over here, so I'm just putting in a variable. So I said a new file for the destination, and this is the path. I paste where is the folder located. As I said, like if you go here, this is the same path, the location of the folder in my machine, and here, and then I said it will be named by the result. Result is nothing, you can put the result, or you can just say method name, whatever you say. So just method name here, copy. So it's getting the method name. Actual method name is getting from the listener class over here. When I say the result.get name, this result.get name will pass, it will pass here. The method name will get replaced by the actual method name from the result.get name, and then it will be updated the method name, and then it will be added concatenation with a screenshot, right? So this will be the file. So and then I put the whole this this new, all the new path, the directory for the new file destination. I put a dist file. So when I use the copy file method, this is the source, and destination source is this, and destination this. Let's save it, and then run the XML file. So right click, run testng. Okay, it's closed. Okay, let's see the result. Okay, here is the result. It's saying total test run 1 and fail 1. Okay, so that, which is true, because here this is supposed to fail, this test is supposed to fail. and it's saying also over here the system cannot find the path specified. Don't worry about that. Let's go to the folder like we created, right? So let's go properties, see if there is a screenshot up there or not. Click on there. This is the same folder like we created, right? Screenshot test, open it, and here is a screenshot. We can see it's named by the method name. What was our method name? Close this. The method name was do login, so you can see the name is screenshot do login, and then screenshot because of here, because of our base class. This is the place and this is the method name. Method name is do login, and then screenshot, the screenshot what's supposed to add in the file name. So do login, then is screenshot. So that's the actual file that got a screenshot. Let's open that and see this what it shows. Okay, and you can see this is a screenshot. Okay, do login, this is short, this do login is screenshot, this is the file name, and this is the, so it means it failed over here in this screen. Okay, it took the exactly screenshot where the method got failed, right? So pretty much that's all about it, about the testng listener, like how the listener works, how you can file create the method and put all the codes that's gonna be do the take this screen, it will take the screenshot whenever it needs, using in your listener class. Okay, I hope it's helped, and it's very important and it's very interesting too. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next class. Bye.